Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Give me 1 second. For continuously providing for us food during the shelter, as well as the protection of Asha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Basumayam, Nakananawa, Nakum, God, Wasalakanawa, Kabawatanawa,
After this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Shabbat Shalom. Yeah. We about ready to get it in the back. What we looking like in the back? He just told you that. Okay. Are we live? We live. Okay. All praise be to the Most High. What y'all back there doing? All right. Today's lesson kind of changed up the title. I was informed that if you say certain keywords, that they'll, I'm learning all kind of new terms. They'll flag you and shadow something you and shadow ban. And so for the sake of trying to keep it up, I may try to not use certain words, but you should know what I'm talking about. All right. So the title of this lesson is called Inspired from Azar Allah. Only out of the great mind of Azar Allah could I have accomplished this. Jimmy Juice. Jimmy Juice, a.k.a., the Jim Jones juice, modern day. Population control at work, so to speak. All right? So now, we do know what the Jimmy Juice is referring to, right? Raise your hand if you do not know what Jimmy Juice is referring to. Okay. All right. So raise your hand if you do not know the story of Jim Jones. A lot of young folks. Okay. All right. Basically, they all took something that ended up ending their lives. And they were coerced by Jim Jones, who was, leader of these believers. Right. All right. So now, recently, our people have been, the world at large, if you will, have been coerced to take something. Right? And we all know what that is, right? You got your round one, your round two, and your boosters. Okay? So everybody pretty clear on that, what we talking about, right? Okay, cool. Hopefully this might be fun. All right, so now here's the thing. I had a video that I was going to show. It's going to be like about 10 minutes. I'm no longer going to show that. But I will say, hopefully I don't get flagged for the title of the actual documentary. It's called Died Suddenly. Very difficult to find. Holler at us. Be able to go and check it out for yourself. Everybody in here should take the time and watch that documentary without a shadow of a doubt. All right? So we got a situation here. I'm going to kind of speak on it for a second, right? The Jimmy Juice has caused people that have taken the Jimmy Juice to have certain complications, and many not only have died from taking the Jimmy Juice, but there's been a serious spike in sudden deaths. Literally every week, or every day actually, but you hear famous folks all the time. Like I heard just yesterday, it was like a famous announcer. He was over, like, I think over in the Middle East or whatnot, but I believe he's from over here. And they tried to blame it on bronchitis, and they swear up and down it ain't the Jimmy Juice. But nevertheless, he did what a whole lot of people are doing. He was at work on their little national TV or whatever the case may be. He falls out and dies. This is happening over and over and over and over and over and over again. So what happened is, in conjunction with people taking Jimmy Juice, people dying left and right, having complications, nobody was really blowing the whistle until the embalmers started getting the bodies, morticians and such, prepping the bodies for funerals. And they began to see, all of a sudden, almost everybody that was coming in had these, what they would call blood clots at first, right? Now, the thing is, they didn't want to continue to call them blood clots because usually a blood clot, when you get it, is actually made of blood. But these clots aren't made of blood. These clots are a white fibrous type of material, right? So it's crazy because I think I can say this, but they got slick. They tried to say, oh, it's nothing unlawful in there. It had everything to do with the mRNA that we were trying to figure out, okay, well, what's up with this mRNA? So we would go on to try to explain people that they kept saying that there was going to be something really bad that happened because the mRNA wasn't a natural thing that belonged in your body, and that it would change some things. So whether it's changing or it introduced something, we'd have to go into a little bit more research. But what ended up happening is all of these people are developing these white fibrous clots that can range anywhere from a couple of inches all the way to, like, I think a couple of feet. Yeah. And so what happened was, when they started getting these bodies, and all of this started happening post the Jimmy Juice, they take the carotid jugular, the carotid vein, split that open, and flush out the body in that way. They were having issues flushing out the bodies. They began to pull out these long clots, and it would be sometimes it'd be all through the body, all through the system. And essentially people were having heart attacks, strokes, falling out, all of this, and it was just being hidden. So all of these people blew the whistle on that. It's a lot more to it because it devastated all of those that were having babies that took that shot. I said it. Hopefully I don't catch that one. All right. But it's a lot to it. So when people were talking about, okay, years to come, we're going to see, we're starting to see already. So I know a lot of us have loved ones, unfortunately, that took, You know what I'm saying? The Jimmy Juice. And this is what we got to deal with. This is what we got to deal with moving forward. So let's get into it. I'm going to read a couple of things. It says, more embalmers report that they have seen the emergence of bizarre fibrous clots in a substantial portion of their cases since the rollout of the Jimmy Juice. All right. I'm going to even hide the name for the moment since, it's supposed to be on the radar. This man told this particular, I guess, magazine or, newspaper that in 20 years of embalming, he had never seen these white fibrous structures in the blood, nor have others in my field. He said that regardless of the cause of death, he's seeing similar substances in the blood post-mortem, which raises the question, is something causing people to die prematurely? Said, I have people sending me photos almost every week of what they're seeing. This guy says he believes the synthetic spike protein in the mRNA Jimmy Juice produced by, the popular companies, the one that start with the P and the one that start with the M, are causing inflammation in the lung, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, the heart. It's causing the same damage that the virus was causing. So let me read a few more things, and then we can get into it. Too many people are silent, and silence is compliance. It's time for people to be courageous because, they're really trying to sweep it under the rug. This particular documentary that I was telling you about was supposed to be on Netflix. You can't find it on Netflix. Can't find it on YouTube. Becoming a serious situation. They're trying everything to sweep it under the rug. It was crazy because there was even once the week, I think it may have been like 2 weeks ago. And shout out to my brother Bawa, who actually sent it to me first. Immediately I went to go see because they said you could type up in Google died suddenly and you'll just get a list of people day to day that's just all over the world, especially in the United States, just dying. And just all of a sudden was healthy otherwise. So now, what are we dealing with here? What are we dealing with? Go to the book of Psalm, chapter 91. Psalm 91, let's get verse 4, and then we'll jump down to verse 7 through 11. Go ahead.
Psalms 91 and verse 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. So in other words, don't let it alarm you too much. Don't let it put you in a situation where now you're so afraid that you're paralyzed in fear. You don't want to leave the house. It's not what it's supposed to be like. Because guess what? What are you doing that's different from what the world is doing? Okay, you keeping the commandments, right? All right. So drop down to verse 7. Now this is serious right here. Read.
1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
Literally, that's what's happening. Thousands of literally falling to their death. I wish I could show you the videos, but you'll get a chance to see it on your own, right? Okay. Literally thousands and 10,000s of people are falling. There are governments that have experienced backlash from their people because the people are realizing that the governments have sold them out. Seriously. It's going to be a big problem in a minute. All right? So this is not just something that's happening amongst us in the United States. This is literally happening all over the earth. Read that one more time.
1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
These people are literally falling out. Some of them have this thing that they do. They kind of gaze. They momentarily they're doing something and they just stop, and then they start gazing, and then they start kind of going in a circle. Some of them and then they just fall out and seize. Videos of people doing this all over the earth. Some of them, I've seen situations where a couple of people got ran over by trains because they fell into the train tracks. Not everybody's doing the whole routine. Some people are like literally just, bam, fall out, they dead. People on live television just dying left and right. Raise your hand if you already know this because you already been on it, you've been looking. So you don't think I'm up here fabricating. All right? This is happening right now. Read.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
It ain't going to come to you, though. Sitting up, people got food, and I try to explain this to people. Somebody told me this, and I just kind of laugh. I'm like, how true? Something that's supposed to be so deadly, everybody's so afraid of, but when they verify that you got it, they tell you to just go home and be by yourself. Give it a couple of days. Take a little bit of vitamin C. You'll be back on your feet in no time. But this is supposed to be like the most deadliest thing to come to hit since the Black Plague. And then all of the lies. You got to get the Jimmy juice. That's going to protect everybody else. How many times have they came out and said, you know what, that ain't true? It's just a bunch of lies, just a bunch of lies. We're going to deal with it, though. Read.
Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
You're going to see it with your eyes. We're literally seeing it right before our eyes. Read.
Because thou hast made the Most High, which is my refuge, even the Most High thy habitation.
You better trust in the Most High. Stop calling yourself in this truth and you don't believe in the Most High. You don't trust. You scared out of your mind, and you don't believe that the Most High has the ability to protect you. Read.
There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Go ahead.
For he shall give his angels charge over thee.
Who got charge over you? When you was in the bootleg church, I got angels watching over me. Now you ought to really have angels watching over you. You better believe something. Go ahead, read.
To keep thee in all thy ways.
All right, go from there. Go to the book of 2nd Esdras. 2nd Esdras chapter 7. Boy, he don't. But he also want to see if you for real. He talk about how he don't like unbelievers. He don't like those that's too scared. 2nd Esdras chapter 7, and let's start at verse 19. We're going to read 19 through 24.
2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 19. And he said unto me, there is no judge above the Most High, and none that has understanding above the highest.
See, we got to be careful, man, because sometimes we put Esau in a place, and we put these authority figures in a place as if they know better, more so than the Most High. These physicians, you can't trust big. I almost said it. I don't know if I can say that or not. Can I say pharma? All right. All right. You can't trust these pharmaceutical companies, big pharma as they call them. Go ahead.
For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the law of the Most High.
Why are a lot of people dying?
Because they despise the law of the Most High.
And you don't think so. You like, oh man, people die every day. Okay. Bible said it, because they despise the law of the Most High. So a lot of them getting put to death. Read.
That is set before them. For the Most High hath given straight commandments to such as came, what they should do to live.
When it said he gave them straight commandment, he got straight to the point. It wasn't ambiguous. I need you to exactly do X, Y, and Z. All right? You want to live? This is what you need to do. And it's crazy because in regards to not only our spiritual selves, but our physical selves, he tells you X, Y, and Z. This is what you need to physically live. Man, we get caught up in so much garbage and make stuff so complicated for no good reason. Read.
Even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment.
And he tells you what to do to avoid punishment. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him.
Man, our people have not been obedient to the Most High. And you wondering why they going through the calamity that they going through. Our people got a whole lot more hell to go through. Read.
But spake against him and imagined vain things.
Spake against them and imagined vain things. Here's the thing, man. In addition to that, they got clips of Bill Gates. How many of you guys are familiar when Bill Gates put it out there and he was talking about, look, if we do a good job, we can decrease the population by 10, 15%. So they call this population control. And really haven't been quiet about it, haven't really tried to hide it. Population control. People got to go. We overpopulated, they say. Been saying that for a while. But then you get a guy like Elon Musk, who's one of them. And recently he came out and said it's the exact opposite. It's not a situation of population control. When you look at the numbers, we are not growing. He said, as a matter of fact, I forgot the term that he used. It's a term that's the opposite of population, overpopulating, depopulation. He was like, but it was another term that went along with it, and he gave his equation. You know what I'm saying? And showed the stats that it's really not true. So if that's not the case, then what's really going on? Who are they really trying to get rid of? What are they really doing? You see it in the TV shows all the time. Even amongst their own people, they got what's called undesirables. You sitting up here like, no, it can't be just us because they getting rid of that white. No, come on now. Them the undesirables. They don't mind sacrificing some of them so that they can really get to you. We're going to show you in these scriptures what they're trying to do. Go ahead.
And deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of the Most High that he is not and know not his ways. But his laws have they despised and denied his covenant. And his statutes have they not been faithful, and have not performed his works.
Have not been faithful and have not performed his works. Our people don't want to stick to the script. They want to sit up here and talk about how they love Jesus, how committed they are. They got a personal relationship, all that kind of nonsense. Christianity is like at an all-time high right now. They got Christianity becoming popular as if it wasn't already popular all over the world. They got music, clothing lines popping up left and right. Like it's like really like a big thing. It's like really acceptable. And it's a bunch of foolishness. They got a personal vendetta against Hebrew Israelites because we done made them look like fools the last 5 years. They said, oh, forget all of that. I just can't get with that. I've seen the videos. What videos have you seen? Why is it that you guys are separate? We separate? How many different type of Christian organizations do you got? I tell them all the time the KKK is a Christian organization. That's the pot calling the kettle black. And they want to throw in black Hebrew Israelites. And how many times we got to show them and tell them, how are we black Hebrew Israelites when it's all types of so-called Latinos and Hispanics and Filipinos? And how are we black Hebrew Israelites? That's the word that they can use to bolster a certain image. to criminalize us. They keep lying and blaming certain things on the Israelites, like the attack that happened in New York. Ain't no Israelite came up and fessed up. Ain't no organization said that's us. They don't have no proof of that. But then Kanye can't say nothing about all of the stuff that they control and what they do and how they canceling folks. Boy, that's the cold thing about some broke Israelites. We don't mind saying what we got to say. You can't cancel us more than we've already been canceled anyway. We already broke. We already poor. It is what it is. Go from there. Go to Isaiah chapter 30. They just try to ignore us. Isaiah chapter 30, let's get 12 and 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 12. Excuse me. Wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because ye despise this word.
Our people despise this word, and because they despise this word, watch this, read.
And trust in oppression.
You trust in oppression. You trust in the system. You trust in Western medicine. You trust in the Jimmy Juice. You trust in all of this nonsense. Go ahead.
And perverseness. And stay thereon.
And you stay thereon. You stick with it. Go ahead.
Therefore this iniquity shall be to you as a breach ready to fall.
That's what our people don't understand. This whole situation where everybody dropping left and right, man, it'll terrify you when you hear the numbers of how many people they project to die in the next 5 years. Ready to fall. Breach ready to fall. Read.
Swelling out in a high wall.
Read.
Whose breaking cometh suddenly at an instant.
Man, all of a sudden it's going to pop off. And who do our people have to blame but themselves? You got the Israelites trying our best to go out on these street corners. It's a lot of other stuff that we could be doing. Dedicate ourselves to getting on these street corners. It's a lot we could be doing right now. It's a lot of ways we could be celebrating the Sabbath, preparing to make sure that we do this, that we breaking bread on the Sabbath, so the whole world gets an opportunity to hear.
That's right.
Come on now. People ain't going to have much of an excuse. Was that all of that? Go to Isaiah chapter 47, and we're going to read 8 through 13. Uh, 47, verse 8.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 47, verse 8. Therefore hear now this, though that thou art given the pleasures, thou dwellest carelessly, that saith in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
It's that American mindset. And this is how Israelites think here in America. Read.
But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day.
Go ahead. What is it?
The loss of children.
A whole lot of that's been happening. Even more that's happening. Read.
And widowhood.
And what?
And widowhood.
Meaning it's going to be a lot of lives lost. A whole lot of people going to lose their companions. Read.
They shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments.
What is this talking about? For the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. What are the sorceries speaking of? A lot of these drugs. All of the drugs our people trust in. This medication is being given to us. What I'm going to show you in a little bit where the Most High said the medication is supposed to come from. We trusted in all of this sorcery. It's a whole bunch of sorcery going around. Wow. What did you make this up from? It's supposed to heal what? Well, we never said it's going to heal anything. We just said it's going to take care of this symptom, that symptom, that symptom. It'll get rid of all of these, 8 out of these 10 symptoms, but you'll get like 20 more symptoms that come along with it. killing us. And then you talk about the enchantments. What are we talking about when we speak of enchantments? How are our people enchanted? Our people, and it ain't even just Disney. Our people believe some dumb stuff. We fall for the dumbest stuff. The whole campaign of the Jimmy Juice is just the dumbest campaign ever. You know a little bit about anything, and you know how stupid it is. And with people telling you the truth, trying to point you to the truth, people still like, well, everybody else got it. They look okay. Plus, it's going to make it hard for me on my job. I got to get it. Then all of the people that stayed firm, and some people even lost their jobs. Some people didn't even lose their jobs. Some people lost their jobs, and they getting their jobs back, plus back pay and compensation. Because it's been deemed unconstitutional, what they did. They violating their own laws. This place is corrupt. They do that with, they even do that with the weed. Tell you it's legal. Man, especially for a minute, how many times they was saying it was legal and then they go and bust you. America do that. I don't know, maybe that's fun to them. They tell you something, all right, then be like, that ain't okay. Well, then which one is it? Well, it depends on if you're talking about state law or federal law. Games they play. Go ahead and read.
Verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Go ahead. We think, and that's how we think that's the American mindset. We feel like at the end of the day, and some of us even talk stuff about America, but we don't really mean it. When it all goes down, we rather them bombs be dropped over there in the Middle East or somewhere else, not here. And we hoping America prevail to give us a little bit more time. Keep it 100. You hoping the same America that you talk all kind of stuff about, you hoping they somehow prevail. Hoping we bad enough that we still can't be touched. Read.
Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
Desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. Keep on giving you the same sign. I'm reading these different scriptures that are telling you the same thing. Suddenly. Go ahead.
Which thou shalt not know.
Go ahead, keep reading.
Stand now with the enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail.
Go ahead.
Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels.
And who?
Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators.
Miss Cleo them. Let Miss Cleo them help you. Let the Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 7. I don't know if 9 got news anymore, but Channel 13, if they exist. Let them tell you. All of these people that you trust in, if the news said it, then it's going to be. Go ahead.
Stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
Because he's saying, I'm tired of you. I ain't coming to save your raggedy behind. Let them come save you. That's who you trust in. As soon as you get sick, you go run into the hospital. You ain't sent up now one prayer. As soon as you got a problem, you don't go to the Most High first. Go from there. 2nd Ezra, chapter 16. People be capping, talking about they don't trust in doctors. Be the first one up in there. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, I want 37 through 40.
The book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh, and are not slack.
These plagues are going to continue to come. They're getting closer and closer. They're not going to slack. Read.
As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son.
You know what that 9th month feel like? How many of y'all done had kids? How many of y'all about to have a child? You ain't got to that 9th month yet, huh? Wait till that 9th month come. I ain't experienced it in my body, but I done had a couple of kids and I done been around my wife. And boy, that 9th month, before then you get what they call, now they call them Braxton Hicks and all of that. But when that 9th month come around, what them contractions be doing? Somebody can be a witness. Contractions start rolling in. Yeah. How many of y'all, especially on your first and your second child, you thought you was having a baby about 4 or 5 times before you actually had the baby? Because them contractions just came rolling in. It's just a test. Emergency broadcast system. Kept on coming in. That's what them plagues gonna come in like. Everybody thought COVID was the end. But before COVID, we didn't believe anything like that could happen. We called ourselves grown. We could do what we want to do. Man, they was hitting us up all on our phones talking about y'all got 20 minutes to get in the house. Curfew.
All of that.
Then we became believers like and we was like, man, life ain't gonna never be the same. Niggas got all the tissue. Can't find no hand sanitizer. In the depths of Compton and Watts trying to find water. Ain't gonna never be the same no more. Now look at us. China got so mad they told them they was gonna go back to lockdown. They rioted. They rioting in China, I believe still. I'm telling you, it's here. The 9th month is here, whether you like it or not. That ought to scare you. That ought to make you get your act right. It's the 9th month. Ain't no turning back. When you get to that 9th month, as much as you were scared, I'm just kind of scared of having a baby. 9th month. You're going to go through so much hell, it's going to make you can't wait to have that baby. Things going to get so bad that you just going to say, you know what, I can't wait till it's over. That's where we at. That's where we at. Read.
As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb.
Ooh, go ahead.
Which pains, when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment.
They don't slack for a moment. Now, not the 9th month, but really when you get to that 10th month, when it's time to labor, ain't no couple of minutes. It's back to back to back to back to back to back. You don't get no break. Read.
Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side.
Go ahead.
O my people, hear my word. Make you ready to the battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth.
So now, with all of this happening, what did he say? What do the people need to do? Get ready. Get ready for what? What's the battle? Actual fight. It's been war. It's been war. But the actual fight, he said, be as a pilgrim, meaning what? You're not worried about the stuff you own no more. You got your bug out bag and you ready to move. Go from there. Stay in 2nd Esdras, get 15. We're gonna read 1 through 6, and then we're gonna drop down to 9.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, Verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee.
Now, when it says the incredulity, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee. What is it talking about? I'm going to tell you what incredulity is. Those people that are unwilling to believe. I just can't accept that. I just can't see that. I just don't believe that would be the case. Not my God. All of them. I just don't think he would be that cruel. It's already written. Whether you like it or not, it's in motion. It's happening. Read.
Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee.
Go ahead.
For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness.
That's one of the coldest lines I've seen in this Bible. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. We talked about what faith is, devotion. Everybody that ain't dead. In other words, as much as people demonize and talk about y'all like a gang, man, this blood in, blood out. This is the righteous mob right here. This is the mob of all mobs. This is a family affair. And he telling you straight up, if you ain't devoted, if you ain't with it, let you die in your undevoted situation. Your unfaithfulness. Die in your unfaithfulness. This ain't got nothing to do with you tonight. You ain't got nothing to do with this. Read.
Behold, saith the Most High, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction.
Go ahead.
For wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth.
Ooh, read.
And their hurtful works are fulfilled.
Man, wickedness is crazy because it's like everything that you watch, you're going to compromise because there's going to be some wickedness in anything that you watch. Am I right or I'm wrong? Unless you're just going to totally give up watching anything. Like the whole earth is wicked. You call yourself, I'm going to do it myself. Even with cooking yourself, man, it's better than going and grabbing it from the restaurant. But then, like, what source is coming out of the grocery store? You don't know. You don't know how your animals are being slaughtered. You don't know what type of water or recycled water is being used to even grow your vegetables. Why you saying you vegan? You don't know how much your crops are genetically modified. What can you do? Read. Drop down. That was 6. Drop down to 9. 9 through 12.
Verse 9. And therefore, saith the Most High, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them.
We got to make sure that we stay on this narrow path because it's going to be for a good reason. There's a payout coming. But you got to stay on that path. How many people have fell off throughout the years? And when they fall hard, don't they? I ain't trying to fall, bro. Right. I done seen a whole lot fall off. And they didn't just fall off at this age. I seen a whole lot fall off at that age. Raise your hand if you seen a whole lot fall off at their age. Raise them hands high. If you had to give it a percentage, how many of them actually lasted? Satan wants you. He wants you.
Yes, sir.
He wants you. Believe that. He wants you. And if you take it like it ain't nothing, and like, oh, this ain't, I'm here, I'm with it. Just wait till your first real trial come. Because you're going to have trials like everybody else. And you got to be with this, man, all the way. You got to fight to stay with this. You got to fight. Go ahead and read.
Verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt.
You know why he said I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt? Because when you read it, it puts it in context. He's not talking about physical Egypt. When he says I will not suffer them to dwell in the land of Egypt, what he's saying is, like that scripture that says, come up out of her. And he tells you, you're in the wilderness of the people. You got to find a way to spiritually detach yourself from everything that's going on outside of there. You got to make this influence the dominant influence somehow, some way. Or else you ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. He said, I don't want you dwelling in Egypt. Get out of Egypt. Come into the safe house. Come into the house of learning. Be with each other, y'all sheep. Y'all gonna need each other. Ain't nobody gonna stay in a situation where ain't nothing really being built. Ain't no real brotherhood, no real sisterhood. Ain't no liveliness. Most High said, I know what I'm doing. That's the reason why I give you all of these feasts to celebrate. Bootleg church made you feel some type of way about drinking. He said, I want you to drink. Be merry for a reason. Because it's just like all of them, the movies that you seen back when, before they go to war, what they doing? Breaking bread, partying. Building bonds. Way before that, they practicing everything that they doing it together. When you go to the army, they understand that principle. Detached from the rest of the world, y'all in the trenches together, ain't nobody else but y'all. That's the mentality that we gotta have. You need this. Without this, you ain't gonna make it. It's a whole lot of people out here that say they walking the walk, but when you really check what they doing, they ain't walking the walk, bro. It's a bunch of talk. You gotta have people to hold you. Come on now. Some of us gotta be real with ourselves. Raise your hand if you know you need accountability. I know I need accountability. You be to lie to yourself in a heartbeat. Read.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues, as before.
As before. Letting you know he ain't talking about that Egypt back when. He talking about right now. He said, and I'm coming back. Go and look and read about the plagues of Egypt, because it's happening all over again. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you how to make it to where it pass over you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how to be safe. Don't take it like, don't be one of them cool fools. Oh, man, you know, you talking about the death angel coming and all of that. I ain't never heard of no stuff like that. You know, I'm with it and all of that, but I ain't about to do no weird stuff. Put no doggone lamb blood on my door. That's extra out. Yeah. What you think happened? You know what I'm saying? Niggas talking about putting up tabernacles. Nigga got a tent in the middle of the room. That's just extra. And I'm saying a nigga for shock value, but why niggas got all of these doggone trees in the middle of their living rooms? Doggone house lit up with lights. Big old Edomite, fat Edomite, Santa Claus in the front. Doggone rain. How many of y'all done seen some flying reindeer since you been grown?
Not one time.
Like these kids ain't smart enough. These kids, nigga, we had an Encyclopedia Britannica when we was little. And we was balling when we got that. We didn't have it when we was little. We finally got to a certain age and they was like, man, we might as well pay this money. They need, because you couldn't just get on the internet like, it wasn't no internet like that. That's how old I am. These kids, man, they got it at their fingertips. You don't think they know that ain't no such thing as reindeer? Come on now. Come on, man. These kids way wiser at your age, at the age that you was. You know what I'm trying to say. They way wiser. They know way. My kids come to me, be like, "Oh, Dad," I'll be like, "Man, where are you even getting these questions from?" Like, I wasn't thinking about asking a lot of the stuff that they asking, because they got it all at their fingertips. Read.
But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof.
Verse 12.
Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it.
Jump down to 24. I need 24 through 27.
24. Woe to them that sin, and keep not my commandments, saith the Most High.
I'm telling you, man, that's what it's really all about, believe it or not. Some people, I don't know why you find it hard to believe this. It's all, at the end of the day, and I'm going to show you in Scripture who they coming for. I'm going to show you. It keeps saying, hey, you got to keep these commandments, bro. You got to get with the program. Stop being on that weird stuff. Oh, man, y'all commandments. Man, commandments. How much have the commandments cramped your lifestyle? Made you a better person? Some of y'all was weird. Commandments made you somebody worth looking at. Some of you was ruthless. Oh, man, come on now. These commandments made you a better man and a better woman, without a shadow of a doubt. And we have more fun. Man, some of y'all didn't even have no fun in the world. Some of you, it ain't even thought. You was unpopular. You didn't have nothing going for you, really. Come on now. Can I keep it real with y'all? And the reason why the Most High made it like that for you, because that world wasn't for you. That ain't nothing for you to be ashamed of. That world wasn't for you. He said, I'm gonna bring you where you can be popular. I'm gonna bring you for real where you got cheers. Sometimes you wanna go. Everybody know your name up in here. We ought to be thankful, man. We sitting up here getting ready to celebrate the Feast of Dedication. 8 days. In the world, when have you ever been to an 8-day party?
Ever.
8 days of turning up. 8 days of drinking good drink. Eating good food. In the name of God. Cold-blooded, because, man, it's crazy, man. And Ishmael got his issues, trust me, believe that. I know he's still an enemy. But Ishmael do a lot of stuff that's still, along the lines of what we was doing for ages. I seen this one video, man, and Ishmael, man, I don't know if they even called that the Taliban or who they called it. They called him one of them Al-Qaeda. I think it was Al-Qaeda. And they had got a little victory. They sitting up here, they had all of their weapons, and they turned on Drake. And they was just partying. And then just listening over the years, them talk about, man, y'all talking about we crazy. We fighting so that we can keep our culture intact. We don't want America's culture. We fighting to keep our culture intact. They have these big feasts. They party. They have a good time. They have brotherhood. Something that we don't even value because it's something that don't even exist in our minds before we come into truth. How many parties have you been to in the world that got shot up? Real talk. And I done been to parties where blood brothers start shooting at each other. Sitting up here DJing like, man, come on, man, we got to get out. We got to find a way to get out here. Because if they blood brothers are shooting at each other, imagine what they'll do to us. Pay me later. You can keep it. Craziness. To be able to be in a situation where you can go to the party with your people and no fights, no foolishness. Come on now. You don't even know what the value of that is. Go ahead and read.
Verse 25, I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power. Defile not my sanctuary.
Go ahead.
For the Most High knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction.
So don't take it too personal, man. A whole lot of people about to get destroyed because they've been given ample time to get their stuff right, to choose up. And they still ain't choosing right. Go ahead.
For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for the Most High shall not deliver you.
And some people, listen, man, it's a process. And he's telling you now, we done got to a point where some of y'all, your time is up. I gave you years. And now I'm not coming to save you. You ever watch Shark Tank? It depends on who it is. Some people that come in and depending on what they bring to the table, the sharks will be patient. The sharks will let them go ahead and ask every shark, you know, what they think and what they willing to offer and all of that. But some sharks with some people, they don't offer the same thing, or you just might catch them on a certain day. They like, here's what I'm offering. You got 20 seconds. Everybody ain't going to get the same deal. Take it or leave it. Some people, he like, look, man, look. You got this amount of time. It's on the table. Take it or leave it. To the point where he say, you know what? Forget it. You're going to remain in it. I'm not coming to. Did you hear what he just read? For God shall not deliver you. Why?
Because ye have sinned against him.
Goodness. We ain't all. That's foolishness. You already know what it is. That's foolishness right there. Jump back to chapter 16. I want 17 through 20.
2nd Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me. Who will deliver me in those days?
That's the question. Who gonna deliver me in them days? Because everybody looking for deliverance. Everybody looking to be saved. Everybody looking for help. It's crazy. You don't care nothing about God until you need to be helped. You don't care nothing about nothing until you need to be saved. Then you looking who gonna come get you. Who gonna bail you out. Read.
The beginning of sorrows and great mournings.
Go ahead.
The beginning of famine and great death.
Go ahead.
The beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear.
Read.
The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?
What am I going to do when these evils come? What am I supposed to do? Depends on which side you on. You ain't on this side, man. Man, get ready to die. If you on this side, you got hope. Read.
Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Now, what in the world does that mean? Those things are sent as scourges for amendment. I'm going to tell you. Those things are specifically sent upon us and our people for you to say, you know what? Let me change my ways. He is real. But, verse 20.
But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
You don't even... This bad stuff happen to you. You act like you crying and sobbing like it's the end of the world. You get a little bit of relief. You done forgot it ever happened. Real short-term memory. That's how it worked. Go from there. Ecclesiastes 38. So let's get back to the Jimmy Juice. Let me explain something. 38, start at verse 1. We're going to read 1 through 10, and then I just want 15 after that.
Sirach chapter 38, verse 1. Honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the use which ye may have of him, for the Lord hath created him.
So now, you do have physicians out here that actually are useful. All right? Not every physician, a.k.a. doctor, a.k.a. healer, is useful, though. There are a whole lot of those that call themselves physicians that are a part of what we call is Western medication or Western medicine that don't know jack squat about healing anything. They don't know a doggone thing. But you do have some that are actual healers out here. And you got some that's still in the Western world of medicine that do know a little something and that can be helpful at times. But the Most High is going to give us how things should be. All right, read.
For of the Most High cometh healing.
For who?
For of the Most High cometh healing.
Your doctor don't heal you. Them herbs alone can't heal you. It's the Most High that has the authority to either heal you or deny you of being healed. Okay? So let's keep that in proper perspective first and foremost. Read.
And he shall receive honor of the king.
Okay, go ahead.
The skill of the physician shall lift up his head. And in the sight of great men, he shall be in admiration.
So when you have a good physician, he's going to be honored. Dr. Sabi was one. He's going to be honored. Go ahead and read.
The Lord has created medicine out of the earth.
Hold on. Read that one more time, Mark.
The Most High hath created.
Slow it down. The Most High
hath created.
Hold on, let him chew it. He created
medicine.
Who created medicine?
The Most High.
Not Pfizer.
The Most High.
Not Moderna.
The Most High.
Not any of those out of Big Pharma.
The Most High.
They create new medicines and all of that, but who already created the medicine?
The Most High.
The medicine already exists. Yeah. You sitting up here trying to figure out what you gonna find to heal you, and no. Yeah, you can search for it because it already exists. You ain't got to go in a laboratory and make up some concoction to find something that can heal you. That's not how it works. You putting your trust in the wrong people. Putting your trust in the wrong people. Read.
The Most High hath created medicine out of the earth.
Out of what?
Out of the earth.
Out of the laboratory.
Out of the earth.
Out of the earth. It's crazy. I remember when I first got introduced to herbs, I'm like, is this going to actually work? Taking tree bark and roots, and I'm like, man, eating flowers and all kind of stuff. Is this going to work? And I was pleasantly surprised. And I became a believer instantly when I saw these different things that say that they will do X, Y, and Z. You go on the internet, and on the internet, it's going to discredit all kind of stuff. You'll even find that some sites, but so that they don't get sued, they still got to semi-discredit what it is that they know it to be. Because they don't want you to understand and know that that is the medicine. It's created out of the earth. Go ahead.
And he that is wise will not abhor them.
If you got any kind of common sense, any kind of wisdom, you ain't going to say, I'm not dealing with that. You're not going to abhor it. You're not going to hate it. You're not going to reject it. You're going to say, you know what? When it's time to really get healed, this is what I need. This is my go-to. Because all that other stuff, that white powdery stuff that's putting pills and all of that nonsense, it ain't going to heal you. I remember them fools, they gave me 2 big old boxes of medication talking about, yeah, one day it's going to eventually blow out your kidneys, but it should keep you in remission most of the time.
Got me messed up. Want me to take this that you telling that's going to blow my kidneys out? I'm not doing that. Furthermore, you telling me it's this, and then you come back and say it's not that, it's this. I don't even believe you. The moment they tell you you got cancer, that's when you start dying.
Right.
Now you don't know what I'm going to do. Oh, they said I got cancer. God, dog. Read.
Verse 5. Was not the water made sweet with wood?
Now that's heavy right there. And it means something to me because I know when we be talking about herbs, a lot of y'all don't even know. Herbs can be anything. It can be the stem. It can be the leaf. It could be the flower. It could be the root. And it could even be the tree bark.
Come on.
Said when they put that wood, because it wasn't just any kind of wood. You got wood that got medicinal. Come on, I know a lot of y'all know about ashwagandha. A lot of y'all. Ashwagandha. That ain't nothing but some tree bark. But what it do? I know about roots, ginseng. Come on now, don't play games with me. Yeah. So these things have medicinal qualities, and these things are the things that was put on this earth to heal you.
Yes, sir.
And the wood mixed with the water, that ain't no different, because some of y'all do the same thing. You make them tinctures or you make them teas, and what you do. That wasn't nothing but water and some plant. You done boiled it and you drinking it, and now it's curing something or it's causing you to get some results that you want. It worked just like that.
Yep. How many of y'all buy dandelion tea? But y'all get the little green stems and stuff. They don't never give you the full flower, right? You know that stuff grow in your yard. You can get it for free and put it in a jar.
You call it weeds.
Yeah, we've been taught to call it weeds. Huh?
The dandelions that grow through your concrete. That's what he's talking about. The ones that when you pull up, they hard to pull up. They got that long, thick root. Medicine. Heavy. Go ahead and read. Verse 5.
Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known?
Go ahead.
And he had given men skills, that he might be honored in his marvelous works.
And he gave certain men the skill that we ought to be desiring within this body so we can make sure we got it here. What's going to happen when all of a sudden calamity breaks out and you can't get to Kaiser? Some of y'all like, oh, I'm in pretty good health. That tooth that you ain't took care of, when it finally come back and hit you again, how many of y'all know how that works? And out of nowhere, boy, you be somewhere on vacation and that tooth hit you. Ooh, you don't care what's going on. You got to go and find some relief. That tooth will beat you worse than an abusive relationship. Think I'm playing. Am I lying? A tooth will tear you up. A tooth will have a grown person crying. Most High know how to get you. And he's telling you to do what? You better start preparing yourself.
Get ready.
Sitting up here, man, you better get your hands on some herbs. And you better learn some things, get some skills on how to heal yourself from some basic situations. Read.
With such does he heal men, and taketh away their pains.
Take away your pain. Shoot, that same tooth. If you know anything, I'm gonna give you the plug. What you need. You get in a situation where you can't get to no because antibiotics. What you going to get? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna work better than that. That golden seal. It works as a penicillin. Straight up. We got to learn these basics. and apply them and start doing it. Start. Don't just be like, oh man, I'm about to go get this aspirin because I know it's gonna work. Give me a couple of the Motrins. You got to start applying this stuff. Read.
Of such does the apothecary make confession, and of his works there is no end.
Those that actually do what? They know about these herbs. They'll mix you up a good mix. Here you go. This going to take care of this, and that. Because that's what they doing. Okay, yeah, some of this, all of these to help that. This going to give you the energy that you need to get through it, and this going to give you a good night rest. Boom, boom. There you go. Go ahead.
And from him is peace over all the earth.
It's peace when everybody ain't going through ailments. Go ahead.
My son, and thy sickness be not negligent.
And it's crazy because it's countries where they got free medicine. People ain't got to pay and be in debt. And these are countries where it's way more peaceful. People are happy. But here we are, we live in so-called America. Ain't nothing free here except for things that kill you. They got Jimmy Juice on the corner for you. You ain't got to pay nothing. Go ahead.
But pray unto the Most High, and he will make thee whole.
Hold on. You can't just go over that. That's the first thing you're supposed to do. Pray to the Most High. He's the one that's going to make you whole. Read.
Leave off from sin.
Leave off from what?
Sin.
Don't get healed and think you still going to be sinning and acting the fool. The reason why you got sick in the first place was some nonsense that you had been did. Read.
Leave off from sin and order thy hands aright, and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness.
Cleanse your mind. Every time you think about going back in the gutter, check yourself. Tell somebody so they can hold you accountable. Drop down to verse 15.
He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hands of the physician.
Now that's what you don't want to do. Those physicians are the ones that get you all jacked up. Misdiagnose you. Give you the Jimmy Juice. And then get mad at you if you say you ain't taking the Jimmy Juice. Tell you say you ain't going to give your kid the Jimmy Juice, and then they going to call child services on you. Telling you, man. Go to 1 Timothy chapter 6. 1 Timothy chapter 6. And let's get 20 and 21.
First Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, and avoid profane and vain babblings, and opposition of science.
So he said, avoid profane and vain babblings. Profane is what? When something is profane, it's what? It's abominable. It's unclean, uncouth, right? And then he said profane and vain. Vain means it's of no worth. Babbling, we talking about talking. But when it becomes babbling, you ain't saying nothing for real, for real. It's a whole lot of people in this world that got a whole lot of this. Avoid that. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got their take on things. You need to do whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Forget what they saying. You better find out what this word is saying. This word is what you got to focus on. Go ahead.
Avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called.
So the Bible says oppositions of science, but falsely so called. Why would it say that? Oppositions means something that's opposing. People tell, science itself is just literally how things work. It's really simple. It's the know of how things work. So now when we're talking about opposition, we're talking about something that's opposing how things actually work. Stop letting people tell you that something goes like this when you know good and doggone well it's like this. You know the sky is blue, but they'll tell you, nah, the sky is actually black. It really is. Well, you know what? It might be. It opposes what common sense shows you what is. What's already proven. And that's why they say science so-called, because it's not science at all. The Jimmy Juice ain't science at all. Everything that they say is supposed to do for you, they lie. It's simple. I learned a lot because my wife, for years, has been into educating on breastfeeding. The child gets immunized through the breast milk. So why in the world are you trying to convince women to shoot their kids up before they even come out the womb? Or even when they come out the womb. As long as they get that milk, they'll be okay. They'll take on the same antibodies that their mother has. Whatever she's able to resist, they'll be able to resist as well in due season through taking that breast milk. But go ahead.
Doctors are basically telling moms when they contract COVID to not breastfeed their babies, even though you pass down the antibodies through breastfeeding. So they will stop breastfeeding while they have COVID.
Because they're trying to destroy you. Literally. Wow. They're trying to destroy us. Don't tell. The heck? Nah, get on this formula. And what's in the formula?
2 recalls in like the past 2 months that were killing babies. So.
And then if you know anything of all of the women that done had to go through that done had to put your baby on some type of formula, then you try to figure out, because the formula be harsh on your baby.
The formula has all kind of stuff in it: lead, metal, beetles, bugs. It run through a factory, so you don't know what it has. And they also put a significant amount of soy in some of the formulas, and that affects our males. That affects the male babies. Just a lot of stuff that can cause you to be cause infertility in young girls and males. So it's a lot of stuff. It's just not.
Man, they're trying to destroy us, man. Calling this stuff science, this ain't science. It's not science at all. These are strategies to continue to get us to allow ourselves to be killed. Watch, man, go from there, man. Go, I don't even need it. Go to Leviticus real quick. Leviticus 17 and verse 11. Because they're trying to put this stuff in your bloodstream, right? The Jimmy Juice, right? But this is what they know about the blood that the Bible says that a lot of us don't take into account. And this is the reason why it was like the perfect murder. The Jimmy Juice is like the perfect murder. Go ahead and read that.
Leviticus 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
Why does it say that the life of the flesh is in the blood? Why? Because most people don't know why they need blood to live. I'm going to tell you why. It carries the oxygen. Because when we think, for some reason, when we think we breathe, we only think about our nose breathing in oxygen and it going to our lungs and it all coming back out. That's not how it works. All right? Everything in your body needs oxygen. Your blood is literally what carries oxygen throughout the entire body. And it carries more than just oxygen, but that oxygen, that AKA breath of life, that is essentially the main thing that's keeping you alive. So when the Bible says, you know, you bleed out, what happens? When you lose that blood, you lose the ability to carry the oxygen throughout your body. Have anybody ever had a situation where a person died right in front of them, in their arms? What's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When that person finally goes, that spirit leaves, that fire, that ruach, everything goes cold. That blood is no longer flowing. It's no longer moving. The blood is a living thing. It's just like people say it all the time, like, oh, women, like even Pac didn't know what he was talking about when he was talking about, you know, he has no right to tell a woman when and where to create one. Talking about like, women ain't never created children.
Right.
Those children are in that little white stuff that's called seed. And they swimming already. And once they're given to you, connects with that egg, becomes the making of that child, you have the opportunity and the blessing to house that child and nourish that child for that 10 months. And then you give that child back to the world. That blood is a living thing as well. If you ever put blood under the microscope, you got cells that are living. Perfect murder. Why? Because that's the thing that they attack. We ain't going to attack all of the other stuff we've been attacking. We've been killing y'all slowly through the foods you eating, through the water that you drinking, through the pollution that's in the air. We've been killing you in all kinds of ways. But guess what? Ain't no better way. When we really want to turn it up, we got to go for the life source, which is the blood. If I can block that life source, you out of here. And that's exactly what they doing. Perfect murder. Proverbs 26.
He said perfect murder it is because it's not even detected if you go under a scanner or anything. People get, what's that, CT scans, all that, and you cannot detect it.
God. Proverbs chapter 26. Let's get 24.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 24. He that hateth disassembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him.
That's what Esau loved to do. He loved to disassemble with his lips. He get you second guessing yourself, and he pit everybody against each other. And then it says, layeth up deceit within, within him. He always got an angle, but watch this. It's going to tell you exactly how he moved. 25.
When he speaketh fair,
He going to speak fair. Oh, man, this is going to be a great thing for the world. Help us to fight this off. Blah, blah, blah. It's us against this thing and all of that. He going to speak fair. It sound good. Read.
believe him not.
But you better not believe him. Why?
For there are 7 abominations in his heart.
7 abominations in his heart. Sitting up there talking about world safety when he really trying to kill a large percentage of the world itself. He always got angles. He got a couple of things. Like it's not just good enough to get you in one way. He's going to get you in a number of different ways. It's just like when you playing like chess or you playing Connect 4. You're trying to set somebody up. He always trying to set us up. But in front of you, you know, he the best of friends with you. Everything that he doing, it's crazy because they'll tell you in a heartbeat, oh yeah, man, studies show that it is not Jimmy Juice related. and then from there, most of us be like, see, I told you. It's saying right here, it's not Jimmy Juice related. So leave it alone. Simple. Read.
Whose hatred is covered by deceit.
His hatred is covered by deceit. You don't see how much he hates you because you like watching them Lifetime movies. You like watching Disney Channel, and you love sports. You love Tom Brady. So it's hard for you to see your enemy for who he really is. Because his hatred is covered in deceit. They be the coolest people that you ever meet when you find. They know how many of us be buttholes and ain't used to having nothing and ready to shit on each other. So they find an opportunity when you meet one of them, they be the coolest person in the world. Man, and I met Brett Favre, man, that nigga was cool. Man, Eminem so cool. Yeah.
I was letting my wife hear the Call of Duty lobbies that we be playing in. Esau show his true colors online. As soon as you jump in a party, you all types of niggers and Mexicans like right off the bat. But it's because it's behind a TV screen. In person they play it cool though.
In person they play it real cool. Oh man, you can't get them in a place of something that they real passionate at. Then that's when they gonna show their true colors. But as long as they in the situation and they know you ain't used to having nothing, they already see you looking around like, they got him. Come and treat you nice, man. You feel like you indebted to him forever. I actually got a scripture on that. I might probably have to jump and get it. Go ahead and read.
Whose hatred is covered by deceit. His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation.
He gonna get exposed, man. He finally getting exposed now. Read.
Whoso diggeth the pit shall fall therein. And he that rolleth the stone, it will return upon him.
So he getting caught in his own traps. It's essentially what's happening. Let me see real quick. I might have to jump and grab that real quick. It is what it is. First Ezra chapter 8. This is how y'all be getting caught up. First Ezra chapter 8, I want 78 through 80, and then I want just 85. 8 and 78. Start at 78. We're going to read 78 through 80, and then we'll drop down to 85.
First Ezra chapter 8, verse 78. Yea.
You ain't right. Chapter 8 and 78.
Oh, I was at verse 80. First Ezra chapter 8, verse 78. And now in some measure hath mercy been showed unto us from thee, O Lord, that there should be left of us a root and a name in the place of thy sanctuary, and to discover unto us a light in the house of the Lord, our God, and to give us food in the time of our servitude.
So now who's actually giving it to you? It already told you who's giving it to you. Y'all don't sound too... who's giving it to you according to what we read?
The Most High.
The Most High. But watch this, verse 80.
Yea, when we were in bondage, we were not forsaken of our Lord, but he made us gracious before the kings of Persia, so that they gave us food.
So now, when the nations do good by us, it's because of the Most High's mercy. We be sitting up there like, man, white people ain't there pulling Little Waynes. No white people ever did nothing bad to me. I done had a few in my life. But I still got to understand it is what it is. It is what it is. Because I've seen what they stock really produces and how they really feel. Now drop down to verse 85.
Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
Why would it say ye shall never seek to have peace with them? Because every time you get in a peaceable situation with them, it doesn't say, because the Bible also says, if at all possible, live peaceably with all men. But what it's saying right here is don't get comfortable and try to live amongst them, because what happens is you always fall into that same net. You want to kumbaya. You want to hold hands together and sing Martin Luther King hymns. Soon as you get in that situation, it's we are the world. So he said, just separate yourself so we don't even have that problem. Read.
Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong.
He said, I don't want you to seek to have peace with them so that you and your people can be strong. Why? Because oftentimes we have a hard time of being strong as a people because we're trying to bring everybody else along and never concentrate on us. Go ahead.
And eat the good things of the land.
We actually can get a chance to eat the good things of the land when it's us, because that's what happened. When we literally had our own communities, they were affluent. Before all of that segregation mess, that was a ploy. By the time we bought into segregation, it was Edomites already at the forefront of that movement saying we need their dollar. We need their business. We had buses and movie theaters that were better than theirs. Toilets cleaner than theirs. Crazy. I go to Ghana, you thinking in Ghana, in the airport, the toilets is going to be nasty. Toilets was a whole lot more clean and sanitary in Ghana. Go to Belgium and it's a different story. Edomites nasty.
He ain't lying.
They nasty, man. We are cleaner people. So-called blacks and Latinos, we cleaner people. They nasty. Sitting up here fighting and stuff and crying to sit on the same toilets as them. Sit at the same raggedy restaurants with the same bland food as them. And lost everything. Because we bought into the nonsense. When he tells you by separating yourself, then you can eat off the good of the land. Because as long as you with them, they get the best produce. Go to their neighborhoods. What they grocery store, what they Whole Foods look like compared to the grocery store that's near your house. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Where you go to shop at? I guarantee if you go to your neighborhood to shop, it's only certain things you gonna get. But when you want certain quality things, where you going?
Another perfect example, the brothers in Ghana, you know, they grow chocolate. Cocoa is a billion-dollar industry. And in Ghana, they like pour off of the resources that they have.
Bro, not just cocoa. They got coconuts in their front yard.
Yeah.
We went to a whole village where all they do is mine gold. Ain't nothing but gold there in the village. And they pour. Who they mining this gold for?
Esau.
We got a congregation in a town called Kunsu. And Kunsu, the whole town, pretty much the whole town, their job is they mine gold. And it's one of the poorest towns that we go to when we out there.
Yep.
That's why he's saying this. Read.
That you may be strong and eat the good things of the land, and that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore.
You'll never be able to leave it to your children because they always take it. If you have your own, and you ain't caught up in the falling for the okie doke, sending your kids to they schools, what the heck are they teaching our kids in they institutions? Like a lot of people don't get this. When your children are around you on a day-to-day basis, they learn to do the things that you do. Whatever business that you have, whatever you running, they have no choice but to learn how to run that business. The fact that you send them to their school, they don't know how to do nothing that you do because they ain't with you all day. By the time you get home, you so tired, you really don't have nothing to give to them. They supposed to be getting this great education and all of that. Like, come on now. That's how they get us. He said the only way you're going to be all right is don't make peace with them. Let them do their thing and you do your thing. Then you'll be able to have legacy. You'll be able to pass stuff down. All this gangster stuff. We didn't come up with this gangster stuff, man. Go to the Skirball Museum. These bootleg Jews, the same ones you look at crazy. For every hardcore gangbanger that have ever lived, you got all of that from them. They the original gangsters. All of the mafioso stuff, they created that. That's facts. These bootleg Jews, that's how they became, that's how they took over. Through organized crime. Cold-blooded. When it's them, it's organized crime. Oh, man, you can't make this stuff up, bro. Goodness, how much time I got? What am I going to do? One scripture I got to get, but I'll get it in a second. Let me reference some things. In the book of Exodus, it talked about this. It's a war strategy to kill our children. Why did they want to kill our children in Exodus in Egypt? Who was they trying to get rid of? They was trying to get rid of Moses. Moses is a what? He was a leader. He was the leader, the savior at that time of Israel. Then what happened in the New Testament in the book of Matthew? The exact same thing they did, right? But who was it this time that they was trying to get rid of? They always do the same thing. So who do you think they trying to get rid of this time? Go to 2nd Ezra chapter 1. I'm going to show you who they trying to get rid of. I'm going to show you exactly who they trying to get rid of. 2nd Ezra chapter 1, and I want 37 through 40.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 1, verse 37. I take to witness the grace of the people to come.
This is Ezra speaking. He said, I take to witness. I'm witnessing myself. The grace of the people to come. Read.
Whose little ones.
Whose what?
Whose little ones.
That's what we're talking about. Whose little ones. These babies. These children. Read.
Rejoice in gladness.
Go ahead.
And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes.
Ezra could see them, but they couldn't see him. He saw the vision. He saw them. He was able to see them with his actual eyes. He said, but they didn't see him. Go ahead.
Yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say.
Read.
And now, brother, behold what glory. And see the people that cometh from the east.
Who coming from the east? Go ahead and read.
Unto whom I will give for leaders.
Okay, so now who we talking about?
Abraham.
Wait, before we go into the leaders, who we talking about? Talking about the Israelites. And he said, I'm going to give these people to the Israelites for leaders. Read.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Hosea, Amos, and Micheas.
Which is Micah. Go ahead.
Joel, Obadiah, Jonah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Sophonius,
Zephaniah,
Aggeus,
Haggai,
Zechariah, Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Most High.
So now at the top of verse 39, read that portion one more time.
Unto whom I will give for leaders.
Stop right there. Who they trying to take out? With this Jimmy Jones juice, when you get a chance to watch it, and you'll see the part where they talked about how many babies died during this epidemic. And even more so from taking the Jimmy juice. Because really that's the main thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to weaken us as a people, as an army, because the Bible said in the book of Ezekiel 37 that we would rise up as a great army. They're trying to weaken the army off top. But the number one thing to weaken the army, I don't really care as much about the army. The army can't be a successful army without what? Without leaders. They've always targeted our leaders. And it's always been prophesied at the time when our leaders would actually come. They know that this is the time when there's an expectation for the leaders to be born. So guess what they're doing? They're doing the same thing that Pharaoh did, doing the same thing that Herod did right now. And here we are, we raising some little nigger babies, some little Chicos, because we don't understand the relevance and the importance of our babies. So we treat them just like some little mihas and some little niggerlets. And you better snap out of it and know what's really going on. Are you sitting up here on your own tip and trying to live your best life? The thing that you ought to understand that you got to guard more than anything else is what's in your stomach right now. These babies right here, because they know amongst them is Jacob, Abraham, all of the prophets. They know this. You sitting up here thinking it's about one thing, and it ain't about the things that you're thinking about. It's about destroying them. They don't want you to be right so that you can give them the things that you need to give them so that they can be ready to lead. They want them to be fearful, the ones that do make it, the ones that don't somehow die. They want them to still be gangsters and pimps and hoes and thoughts. They don't want them to have the mentality to be able to build, to be able to put their own stuff to the side and understand it's all about the nation right now. It ain't about the individual right now. That's what they trying to get. If I can kill him before he even become a man, and I'm good. I don't want to meet him on the battlefield when he's ready. I had other scriptures, but this is the only one I really, really need. Go to Revelation chapter 12. And remember, the Bible tells you in the book of Ecclesiasticus chapter 12, never trust your enemy. Ecclesiasticus chapter 6 and verse 13 tells you to separate yourself from your enemies. But this is what I need, 12, and let's get 10. We're going to read 10 through 14.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 10.
Actually, 10 through 17. 12 through 17, I'm sorry, 12.
Verse 10.
Verse 12.
Revelations chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
Why woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea? He said, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Meaning what? If you dead, then you good. You ain't got to worry about all of this. Rejoice. But woe to those that's still on the earth and in the sea. Read.
For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
They know it ain't nothing but a short time. That's why they would implement something as brazen as literally killing all of these people. You got governments that are getting ready to be overturned because the people are going to overturn these governments because they understand you've just declared war on the people. Esau is getting ready very soon to declare war on himself. Because while our people might wait and not know when it's the right time, Esau don't care about none of that. Esau is like, oh, you purposely poisoned us, my own government? Because all of the famous people that were the forefathers of the Edomites here in America would have sayings talking about, man, if the government ever tries to disarm you, then you know it's time for you to fight. Never let your government do X, Y, and Z. They ready to fight. That's when Yahweh Shai was like, how can a house or a kingdom divided against itself stand? It's going to fall. This place is getting ready to fall. They know that they got a short time. And that's why they're implementing the types of things that they're implementing. It ain't long, bro. They definitely know it. We got to know it. We be sitting up here like, oh, okay. It done got back. It's pretty normal from all that COVID stuff. We good. No. Something else coming. Get your stuff together while you can. But stick to the script. Build your brotherhood. Build your sisterhood. Build our communities. Collectively do what we got to do. Ain't no time to fall back into nonsense no more, man. It's almost over. It's about to be time for war. What we supposed to be doing is grooming up those that's about to lead. And that's why they on the attack. They like, oh, no. They are attacking our babies at an all-time high. We got more deaths amongst the babies more so than amongst the ones that's already standing up and living and walking around. Through this whole epidemic or pandemic or whatever the case may be, they was able to kill a whole lot of babies. It's been difficult. It's like a miracle to have a baby right now. Go ahead.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
Talking about Yahweh Shai. Talking about the woman being Israel, read.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and a half time from the face of the serpent.
All of this didn't happen. Go ahead.
And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Carried away of that flood, talking about the lies, the doctrines, the hypocrisy. Our people get caught up in all of that. Read.
And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
How did the earth help the woman? A lot of it is archaeology. When you seen them images, you was like, whoa, ain't no way to refute this. Writings, ancient writings showing that Israel exists. When people try to tell you, they try to pull all kind of stuff. Your own people call themselves Egyptologists, don't even know just by calling themselves Kemetic, they verify that the Bible is real. Everybody was trying to disprove Israelites. And now everybody done shut the heck up. Because everybody done failed. Now what is it now? You ain't trying to disprove it. And now it's like, yeah, man, I've been knowing we was Israelites. But you ain't trying to keep none commandment. Go ahead.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
The dragon was wroth with Israel. The dragon being who? We ought to know who the dragon is, right? The red dragon is who? The nation of Edom. Who's at the forefront? Amalek. They've been trying to kill us, but they was just trying to kill us slow and make money. It's been profitable. Now it's like, man, these fools they making moves now. We done finally put them in a position to be billionaires. Portion of it you could say, okay, well, that's at the hands of Esau. Esau, you put us in the game, man, we going to learn how to play it until we get better than everybody else. It's happened every game we done been allowed in. Now we done got to playing too good, and then now you got a couple of them that actually got a conscience. Now it's a problem. Read it one more time, verse 17.
And the dragon was wroth with the woman.
Mad at Israel. Read.
And went to make war with the remnant.
Now hold on. Notice he don't go to make war with the woman, the whole woman herself. But specifically, who within the woman do they go to make war with?
To make war with the remnant of her seed.
The remnant of her seed, go ahead.
Which keep the commandments.
The ones that do what?
Which keep the commandments of
what,
Yahweh.
And what else?
And have the testimony of Hamashiach Yahweh Shai.
It's war. It's war. But you better know what's going on in this war. Don't be in the war clueless. All this stuff that they're doing, don't think that they just doing this to black and Latinos and nah. Because right now you feel pretty secure. You've been able to kind of low-key keep your Sabbaths the way you want, and ain't nobody really pressed you on none of that yet. But all around us, they pressing everybody else. And anybody that got any kind of voice that say anything that we say, they pressing them hard. I'm finding out all, because I'm not like a social media really type person. But then I'm finding out all of this stuff like, oh man, I'm learning these new terms. They black, what they call it again?
Blackball.
Shadow
ban.
Shadow banning you. I just learned really about the cancel. Jake talking about he went to go swipe his card and it was like everything was denied. Every card he swiped. Billionaire. They got he said, and one thing that he said, if they can do this to me, imagine what they could do to you. Somebody actually care because the world knows, oh, that's Kanye West. What happens when your 200 that you got in the bank that you work hard for all of a sudden disappear? Who gonna vouch for you? How mad would you be? You probably be ready to blow that up. I said 200,000. Somebody got a little piece of change in the bank. You might have 10. 10 is a big deal. They mess around and all of a sudden wipe your 10 out. Because they playing games right now. They introducing digital money as if we ain't been had digital money. When I heard that, I said, what? Yeah, they got everybody to buy into the crypto, and then they all of a sudden talk about we about to introduce digital currency. Excuse my language. Nigga, the currency been digital. Is this a game? Like, go over there. You got dudes that come up, they take a couple of pennies off of everybody's account, they be multimillionaires. They can mess with your numbers. Like I said, who gonna care enough to make sure it's rectified? What happened when Washington Mutual went down? They set that up. They caused a panic on purpose. Washington Mutual, because see, if you know the law, they only have to keep 10% of your money in the bank. But because when you can go and pull out all of your money, you're thinking that all of your money is in the bank. No. By law, they only have to keep 10% of your money in the bank. The other 90% of your money, they take it and they play the what you call it, the stock market, the foreign exchange. And they use your money, because you get a loan from them, they're gonna charge you for taking a loan. They take loans from us for free with the banks and even income tax. Income tax is, I'm gonna borrow your money from you, I'm gonna use it to make me money, then I'm gonna give you a portion of the money that I borrow from you back without your permission. But it's gonna be interest free. So by law, when you put your money into a bank, 90% of your money is already out. And they're using it to make money on the foreign exchange. This is truth. So when everybody decided to try to pull their money out of Washington Mutual, what happened? It was like, we ain't got it. What happened to most of them people's money? Money is supposed to be insured, right? Man, most of the people never got their money back. Because who cares about you? Who knows you? Who can vouch for you? There's anybody. I better understand what you up against. And all praise be to the Heavenly Father. Most High willing, you got something to think about, chew on, and we got to move even better, a little bit different than what we moving. Because
You know, really what it is on. That's it. Don't think that it ain't on, it's on. All praise be to the Heavenly Father. We got some announcements.